Yo, what is going on guys, xHOUNDISHx here, and today Trials of Osiris has returned this week inside of Rusted Lands, which is pretty interesting because we had the ammo change as well. So I'm going to talk about that and the map a little bit, and I have spoken about Rusted Lands before, but because of the changes recently and it's been a little while, I wanted to talk about it again and kind of integrate it into how it plays out on this map. So starting out anyway, if you're wanting loot this week, 5 wins you get the gauntlets, and at 7 wins you get the rocket launcher, the tamarind. So if you want either of those, this is definitely the week to grind. So like I said, it's interesting that Bungie have picked a map with such long lines of sight following the special ammo change obviously, and this is possibly to kind of try and gauge the impact of the ammo changes on sniper combat, seeing as that is kind of the primary initial engagement for most Trials of Osiris matches. And what I and a large number of other players have been doing as well is equipping a sidearm, as you can actually still spawn with that ammo at the start of a game, and then sidearms and say Mida or a long range primary. Generally scout rifles on Rusted Lands are pretty damn good for the initial rounds without snipers, because you can approach those positions such as the silo without getting sniped immediately. So it's kind of a different play style, and as expected basically everybody is switching to a sniper at the end of the first round or after a death or something like that. So I do recommend doing the same thing because pretty much everyone is doing it. We could discuss the politics of doing this after the ammo nerf and all of that kind of stuff, but hey, everyone's going to do it, so why be disadvantaged? So there are very massive lines of sight on this map. As a sniper, you need to challenge based on your confidence level as always. Don't jump straight onto the silo if you don't feel like you can actually, kind of challenge that position, or indeed if you've already lost in that engagement more than once, it's not a good idea to try it again. And most of you will notice I'm not really an aggressive sniper. I know kind of my skill level as a sniper and where I have more of an advantage, so just kind of be careful the way you play with snipers on this map. Obviously if you're really skilled, you know what you're doing, this won't be a problem for you. So shotguns can be pretty good for the structured areas and the interiors on the map, but like most PvP and especially trials, rushing with shotguns obviously like a maniac is always going to be pretty hard to do now. So kind of play cleverly, use shotguns for defense primarily, or pushing a last guardian or a position that you have an advantage on. This is just my opinion, but again, you need to play to your strengths in this kind of department. So most people will engage in that space between where zone C is and where the water tower is, and you can also get some pretty good pushes through the interiors and into zones A and B, especially if you struggle engaging in one area. Try and move around the map a little bit because there's a lot of space on Rusted Lands, where you can kind of open up new lines of sight and things like that. And if you're not sniping on your team at all, which I generally don't recommend, especially on a map like this, but either way, if you're not doing that, obviously using the kind of interiors and the other spaces in the map are definitely a good idea. So talk about the heavy rounds a little bit. It's pretty fun to push on this map, I've actually found. You do need to be pretty quick because obviously it's quite a long kind of distance, but some well-placed firebolts or lightning grenades are really good if you want to push the enemy kind of teams heavy. And as always, if you do pick up ammo, use rockets. I still see some people trying to use like LMGs, and at really long range on this map as well. A lot of people will use truth and just track you, so obviously rockets are good. So overall, it's a pretty fun map to play on. Definitely a sniper dominant map, which is why it's pretty much always the playstyle within Trials, but it's why kind of the ammo change is pretty interesting on this map. And with this map we can kind of see more of those extreme sniping ranges as well, especially if people kind of stay back in their spawn. So that's kind of what I have to say about Rusted Lands in this week's Trials of Osiris, and I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, of course, hit that like button and let me know what you think of this map down in the comments below. And also feel free to check out my friend the Sad Dinklebot on YouTube. He's playing obviously in this gameplay with me right here, but he's a great PvPer, uploading some pretty awesome content to his channel, so I'll link that down in the description box below. Definitely check it out. Anyway, you guys take it easy and have a fun weekend on Rusted Lands.